All right. What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Thanks for hanging out here with me. I'm glad you've decided to join me. Be it live. F it, I'll do it live, Bill O'Reilly style, or on the replay. Thanks for just hanging out. You could be doing anything, and now you're sharing some time with me. We're going to talk crypto, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, top altcoins. We're going to look at some metals today too. Those have been wild. Those have been hot. I'd like to add my thoughts on that. And I'd love to hear from you. This is an interactive stream, an interactive feed. I love your comments. So just, if you're a subscriber, you can subscribe. You just fire a comment away into the chat and we can talk. For those who don't know, now you know, Big Cheds on Twitter. I've been doing this for a long time. I am CMT level 1, so I do teach. I practice, I trade, I teach professional technical analysis. That's Japanese candlestick theory and classical charting. And really, I'm known as like real big-time educational guy, newbie helper. And I've got just a huge library of stuff to teach you, like legitimate, TA. There's a lot of people who think they know what they're doing. They talk about it, but, I keep it clean for you. So start with the Trading Encyclopedia playlist, 3-minute videos, brand new one every day, teaching you concepts from both Eastern and Western TA. I have published 4 books. I'm super proud of that. And they're basically all free. You can buy them on Amazon if you'd like. Have the, hard copy. There's the audio book, which I've recorded. I narrated them all. There's the Kindle versions. And you can watch free versions here on my YouTube. Cancer Memoir, Trading Wisdom, my newest book, The Trading Journal, which is a great project, and trading quotes, like brand new quote every day, 365. So that's just a lot of great stuff. And I'm just trying to pay it forward and pay back like what was given to me and the people who helped me earlier in my career. I haven't mentioned a while though. Check out the long form interview series. I just bring like really smart people from the space and talk to them. I've got some new ones coming up. The last one was Pierre a month ago. I'm working on some new guests. Check that out. Of course, what else? You're here for the charts, not the chat, right? So we got the charts here. What else do I want to say? That's about it. So thank you for hanging out. I should, of course, mention I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I've been with Bitcoin Live for since the founding. I'm a founding analyst. It's the best team in the world that studies crypto. I'm super, super, super proud of that. And I also do want to mention, I should mention as well, that I'm a partner of BingX. I've worked with them for 6 years. If you're looking for somewhere to trade, they're an excellent exchange, and I have a great experience with them. So check out BingX as well. I'm really proud of that partnership. So what's going on? Bitcoin 82.7. So we're going to dissect the chart a little bit, and I'll check in with the chat. What's up, Ghost Zombie? He says, been following you since 2021. Thank you for all your knowledge. You'll sit back and listen. Thank you, man. But if you have a Ghost Zombie, I want to hear from you. Anything you want to look at, any charts, any comments. What's up, Martwan? Nice to see you. Anik, KRS, Matej, Mario, Talos, everybody else. Fire away the questions. I want to hear from you guys. I will start out on the weekly chart in Bitcoin. The last candle that closed, right? That's this candle here. It closed on Sunday. It's a red Marubozu, right? And a Marubozu, the word Marubozu in Japanese, from what I understand, at least from the literature, means dominance. And this is a dominating candle. When you have just really almost a pure Marubozu, meaning no wick at all, tiny, tiny, tiny lower wick. You got to zoom in. That's not much of a wick. And so what that means is when you have a big red candle like this with pretty much no lower wick, it's suggestive of bearish continuation, right? And same thing in the opposite with a bullish Marubozu. And I've got videos on Marubozu if you'd like to check it out. So we're seeing some early follow through in the Marubozu, and that red Marubozu, within the context of bearish consolidation structure, moved down. Bearish consolidation, whether you call it a bear flag, an attempted ascending triangle reversal, whatever you call it, consolidation after move down, bearish consolidation, and big red Marubozu, early follow through on that. And this whole action here is a big momentum shift from what had been just an unchecked uptrend for a long time in Bitcoin. And you had these series of advances just starting all the way back from when we bottomed, and I announced that I was going long at 18.5, and you just had a series of, really nice, trading entries, breakouts and retests, move, consolidate, and really notably the moves and consolidations to the weekly 50. And these types of resets, this is a little bit of a review for everybody, but these types of resets are healthy and they allow for the oscillators to reset, RSI cools off, whatever oscillators you're doing, short-term rebalancing, advance, consolidate, except, whoops, didn't hold, right? Held, didn't hold. And not only didn't hold there in the weekly 50, did not hold in the throwback or the bullish retest. When you set a resistance, you break it, you want to hold. And so that sets the tone for the breakdown. And then the whole idea, I just showed you the failed throwback, that sets the tone for the momentum story in the daily chart, okay? So we go into the daily chart, and you're observing this breakdown. We have a kind of a shock reaction. We set our low here in November around like 81K, and we pretty much tested that. So we might as well go ahead and draw that. Let's just draw that box and have a nice little local zone of response. And so we have set the initial low, and we bounce. And while we're bouncing, we set a range peak, okay? We set a range peak circa roughly 94.5K. And initially you have what is essentially a rising demand trend. So what I say, people draw a trend line and they say, oh, it's a downtrend line. Well, I say it's a trend. Well, not I say, but how I describe it is a trend of falling supply, more aggressive sellers. Same thing, same concept is true on the inverse with an uptrend line. You have a rising demand trend. So you have the rising demand trend, more aggressive buyers forming an ascending triangle, and you had a pretty notable breakout. I took the long trade on this breakout, and it failed. I got stopped out, and what I talked about here at Bitcoin Live, what I talked about on Twitter, I talked about everybody else, was that if it fails to hold here, that's a big-time momentum clue. If the price fails to hold here at 94.5, it is a really bad sign for bulls, because if you remember, and we kind of erased the last couple of weeks of price action, we go to about here, the real debate had been about where this right shoulder was going to be. So a lot of people, the conventional wisdom had been like tops in, but we're going to get this nice little bounce to 107K first, or maybe even 100K. And it's just a question of, where the price, let's just be a little more precise. So where the price is going to bounce to form, like a right shoulder, and notably not even enough strength to form a right shoulder. Not even enough strength to even test 99.5K, which was for me an important level to recapture to kind of start to get a little bit more interested. And I had that level, that 99.5 level in mind when I took the trade at 94.5, and I didn't take any profit because I was waiting for a little higher. So not even enough mojo, not even enough momentum, power, whatever you want to call it, to tag 99.5, let alone the major level 107.5, which would have suggested a resumption of the longer-term trend. If the price had been able to recapture this, we had a real chance to continue with the weekly trend and not top off. But just not even enough power, 99K, right? So that's just such a momentum blow for the bulls on this failed 94.5 breakout. And what I said at Bitcoin Live, after the failed breakout here at 94.5, I'm looking down around 88K. So this is kind of giving you a little bit of a backstory last couple of weeks. What I talked about was there's a big, strong bearish overhang here. And because of the failed breakout, we're going to test this zone. And we did. We tested this zone. And we tried to bounce. And I covered this in my last stream where we started out with a tweezer bottom here and an attempt at a kind of a diamond bottom type of reversal. And you had an initial breakout of the diamond bottom, which was a fake out, right? The diamond reversal. I've got a video on that. And then broke the peak of the diamond and didn't hold. Yet another up thrust, right? I mean, just dirty action. And that's, again, all within the context of after this failed breakout and kind of testing, this structure here, kind of testing this clustered support structure. Pardon me. So after that failed to hold, okay, what I noticed, and we'll go to the 4 hour, and I'll illustrate now, right, the idea of levels forming and using them as a little bit of a moving target, but to structure your risk. I said, okay, look at that. I like the response here, and I like how the price has been rejecting at 90.5, which means to me I'm willing to take a long if it breaks. And I'm like, okay, we can do a right shoulder here, maybe somewhere. And what I said again at Bitcoin Live, is that this level would be a right shoulder. And if it fails, you can take a short. And if that fails, the next level I'm looking below is right around here, 85K. So we failed the right shoulder and then punched through what should have been another level where the price should have held initially 85K. It just knifed. It just knifed right through that. We're back to just the bare bottom nut lows of this consolidation structure, which is bearish structure, bearish consolidation structure. Okay. What's next? Everybody, yeah, great, Cheds. That already happened. What's next? Well, I mean, just looks like a very, 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 very likely going to be headed back towards, 76K zone, this general price pocket right here. And that response is going to be really, really, really important, because if there's any chance for the bottom not to be in, if there's any chance for the top not to be in, it's got to hold here. So I've been targeting 76K since we broke down up here. I've talked about that. Even though my overall thesis for the bottom of this bear market is 35 to 45K, this is where I think we bottom. I've been very consistent on that. I'll be consistent on that until, I see evidence otherwise. This is an important stop along the way. So we're headed towards there. We're almost definitely going there. And so the thing is, though, like bulls have been saying, rotation. Rotation metals, into gold and silver. And, we'll talk about gold and silver. I got it right here. Gold and silver weekly. Let's go daily. People have been talking about rotation. I don't think so. And the people who study this stuff, fundamental analysts who know it way more than I do are like, no, I don't think so. That's not happening, because it's more likely to rotate into, other metals or into energy or something. And it's been like a coping mechanism for bulls. The big rotation's coming. Like, it's not happening. That's not a strategy. That's not how you position yourself. We're looking at structural breakdown in many charts. Many of these altcoins look terrible. Here's XRP, fresh local lows. SOL breaking down. You see it in the weekly as well. No change in my general target on many of these, like SOL. I think we're going to 50. XRP is going to $1. So there's a lot of pain. And of course, Ethereum, and it hasn't really given me much to get excited about, much to trade with, because I'm looking for clarity. I'm looking for resolution. And the first real downside target I'm interested in is 2350. I've been saying this, for like 2-3 months. And for the upside, you got a pretty clear little upside trigger here if you can kind of recapture, maybe around 3750, something like that. Recaptured this low, which turned into a rejection. I'm not going to play around here in the middle of the channel. This is not an interesting chart for me to want to go long. I'm going to need to see another leg down first. Quickly do gold and silver, and then we'll jump into the chat. I mean, gold's incredibly strong. You can say this is a topping candle, but is it? I mean, because was this a topping candle, right? Was this bearish engulfing candle topping? No, it just dropped back to the middle of the range and continued higher. And so until proven otherwise, I think you should view this as just a temporary pause and likely continuation. And you kind of eye levels where you'd like to buy. Now, if you look at even like lower time frame structure, you've got some support here. Did pause and consolidate here. So this is a level of interest. And then you zoom back down even more, other levels of interest below. So I still think you're looking at levels where you may want to buy the dip, because until proven otherwise, it's just a nice little uptrend. It's got levels to watch. Sure, there's volume. You see most volume at the top and the bottom. Sure, you've got an evening star here. But there's a short-term pattern. May just drop back to the MA20, EMA 34, that type of thing. So until proven otherwise, likely to continue. And silver, nice little nasty red candle. And we're flirting with, first MA20 here on the daily since around the $50 range, right? Now, it's been just pure EMA 8. So there is hinting at a deeper consolidation, but this was also doing that. And you really just drop back in October, really just drop back to MA50, MA50. So MA50 will be interesting if it gets there to see the price reaction. If it fails MA50, that probably tells you top is in. But it's really hard to get in front of a train like this to know when it's going to start to consolidate and to know the difference between just a consolidation and a topping pattern, okay? What altcoins do you guys want to look at, right? I'm here for you. I'm here to look at your stuff. Somebody mentioned Fartcoin. We'll do that one first. Fartcoin. I think that was that guy Dip Wheeler kept talking about Fartcoin. So crypto. Farcoin, I think Mexi's got some history here. There you go. So, I mean, what do you want? What do you want with this one? Like, what's your thoughts on Fartcoin? Adar, do you like it? Or you think it's bearish? You think it's bullish? I don't like this chart. I mean, I don't like this chart one bit. There's no real evidence of any bullish strength here. Big time range peak. I would just do nothing with it unless it can clear 50 cents. I wouldn't put $1 into this until it can clear 50 cents. Cheds is at 25 cents. Yeah, but it's more likely to go lower. It's more likely to break down than it is to reverse. You're in a confirmed downtrend, price below a falling daily MA200. I don't like the chart. But what were your thoughts? What did you want to know about it? Ghost Zombie says, I sold everything last year around 105. Nice job, man. Patiently waiting for my targets to hit. Yeah, 37 to 50K in Bitcoin will have your interest. It makes sense. And people, when you first say that target, I put out my famous tweet where I said, the move from 35 to 225K is going to be amazing. People were waiting for that. Some people that was like the tweet I made up here where I said the move from 12, to 100K is going to be amazing. And I made a kind of a similar call here where I said, I said the move from 35K to 225K is going to be epic. So, we shall see. And I generally think we'll bottom at the end of this year in that range, and last quarter of the year. And so that's kind of just my base case right now. And I'm willing to change it. I'm willing to say I'm wrong if we get new information. I'd like it to be right. It would make sense. It would be a slightly smaller drawdown peak to trough than in the past. But I'm okay with being wrong. I mean, this happens all the time. Scout says, first time in the monthly, we're testing the lower candle bodies from March and April. Let's go to the monthly on Bitcoin. I don't look at the monthly a lot. We don't have the MA200 yet. It's a little bit too young a chart for me. I'm not Peter Schiff. But let's take a look here. So the question is testing the candle bodies from March and April 2025. March and April. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's testing this general range. You see a little bit of a gap down to like 70s based on this based on this time frame. I mean, you are basically this is the first close below the MA20. It's kind of like here. First close below the MA20, which is the middle Bollinger Band. And MA20 means, in case you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, you can go to my YouTube, go to the encyclopedia. I've got videos on EMA, SMA, what my moving averages are, what the setup is. And MA20 just means 20 periods based on the closing price. And, take the last 20 periods in closing price and divide by 20. So it's equally weighted. And so it's the first close at it, right, since 2023. And we're flirting with, we got 1 day left, the first close below the MA20, since we bottomed. So that looks like a topping thing as well on the monthly. You had that here as well, right? Minor bounce and then continued lower. Actually, it didn't close till here. Pardon me, here. This is when it started to close below the weekly, the monthly 20. So new lower low is coming. Yep, absolutely. Happy Friday, chocolate. Thank you. Martwan says we might not have a weekly MA50 underside test this time. And we saw that here. And what was really interesting and clean here is this gave us an upthrust. Now, I don't know that it's as powerful as that 94.5 one, but this was an attempt to rejoin the trend. And this failed breakout and this reversal was a major, major bearish momentum clue. I talked about it at the time. And this is when I put up my tweet that said we're going to 12K. We went to 15. I think it's pretty good, pretty close from 45. So let's continue on. We might not have 50 underside. Yeah. Let's see what is going on here. Crypto's talking now about the gold versus Bitcoin chart. Sure, whatever. I mean, I'm not gold. I'm not like super into these types of analyses. But let's do it here. Gold, Bitcoin. Let's check it out. Did I do that? I think I did that wrong. Let's see. Gold. Let's do XAU, USD, BTC. And sometimes I'm a little goofy. Yeah, this should do it. Little goofy with how to do the comparisons. Why it's messing up with me here. What are we doing? Cheds. This is a professional production. There we go. All right. So gold versus Bitcoin. Let's go to like daily. Okay, so what is he saying? I don't really care what Crypto's saying. I mean, he's kind of more of he's more of like a KOL. I'm an educator. I'm a an educator. I'm not really an influencer. I don't like to think about it that way. So gold versus Bitcoin. Overall, coming out of this weekly bottom, okay, but like I don't know, like unless you're trading this pair, like what's the point? It's clearly got local momentum, but I'm not sure what is really actionable about this chart. Like, what are you going to do with this? With the gold versus Bitcoin, like what's the point? What is it going to do for you? How does this help you? I don't know that it really helps you, really in any way. To be honest, I don't see value in this. I don't know. Do you? What are your thoughts on that? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, if this is going to inform me. It doesn't give me any information on Bitcoin holding, 82K or not. It doesn't give me anything. It doesn't do anything for me. Happy winter, you too, Jordan. Can I look at uranium chart? Yeah, I'll take a look at uranium. URNM. This is the uranium miners ETF. We'll take a look at that. Interessante. Let's clean this up. Big volume spike. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Let's go to weekly. Let's look at the daily chart. Nice little grind higher. EMA 8 grind. Nice general bull flag, even though it went a little bit longer than you'd like the bull flag. It's a reminder. People talk about bull flags to move up. Like this is not a bull flag, right? But it's a bull flag. It's supposed to be a brief pause, after consolidation. So, this is a spinning top, a high volume spinning top. This suggests it's probably going to pause for a while. Look for a retest. It would be a buy the dip, right? In the context of the rising trend. This is likely a pausing candle in the uranium ETF, likely to come back and test this area. Hey, Cheds, buy prices to set for cycle low. Already covered that for Bitcoin. Hype was requested. Let's take a look at Hype. Just had a nice clean throwback. And this is something very, very easy, simple technique you could have been on the lookout for. So after the range low sweep, okay, the price bounced, a little bit of volume, a little bit of accumulation. It broke the lower high. So when it breaks the lower high, okay, in this type of situation, you immediately identify an overhead level, which is for me right around 36. And I'm saying to myself, say I'm not in the trade, say I missed a breakout, which is fine. You miss a lot of stuff unless you're just literally at the computer all day. I'm going to wait for a throwback or a bullish retest. And on that, the wick we had yesterday, you had a very clean retest. So just nice. So far, nice response. Not only to the broken lower high, this is your lower high from this high, but also the rising EMA 8, exponential moving average, which means the most recent candle has more price weighting. And as a reminder, I've said this a million times, exponential moving averages are better for short-term price action versus longer-term. Longer-term, you want to use SMA for 50 and above, in my view, the way I read the market. So Hype needs to hold here. If it fails to hold 27, 28, get rid of it. Just get rid of it completely. Just be done with it, okay? Danger for this to be a new higher low to this higher low, to this, sorry, new lower high to this lower high. This has got to hold. We'll clean it up, and I'll show you just to illustrate how important that level is, okay? Okay, Santander, Ibex, Banco, Martuan. I don't know what that is. We'll take a look. I have no idea what you're talking about, brother. Okay, Banco Santander. Okay. Wow, super strong, man. I'd love to be a bull in this one. Looks like it's going higher. Not much to say. You said monthly. I mean, gorgeous. Look at this monthly chart. This is like Bitcoin 2017 strength. I mean, beautiful. Here's your tweezer top invalidated. Here's your kind of, goofy looking hanging man, if you want. I mean, a high wave candle just continued higher. Beautiful chart. A lot of strength. Covered Hype. Asan, what do I think of ACU? Acme. All right. I like this. I like charts I've never seen before. It's ranging. I don't like these types of charts. Valentin CRG. I mean, like, what is the point? There's no trend. And the whole idea of a trader is that you want to take advantage of a move against a trend. In an uptrend, you want to dip to some well-defined level. In a downtrend, you want to rip, right? Ideally like broken support or something, right? A bounce into, lost support. You want to take advantage of a move against a trend. When you have this, like, what are you supposed to do with this? It's just flat. I would do nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. That being said, drop to the weekly, and you can see what the significance would be of breaking and holding around $45. That would be significant. I would do nothing until that happens. Okay? Other than that, I kind of hate it because I'm a trader and I want a trend to trade. I covered hype already. Let's see, folks. Keep it coming. Hey, Cheds, was selling my spot Bitcoin off. Pretty much then top down. Nice job. But I still holding a decent amount. Sure, why not? Any views on how to play it here with any remaining spot? Bitcoin and sell and try to buy lower. That's up to you. That's a tough one. I can't really necessarily recommend. I would say, like, here's the deal, though. It's like very likely going lower. So as long as you're comfortable holding and it's a long-term thing, like, are you comfortable seeing the price cut in half from here? I think it's probably going to be cut in half from here. All right, we're 83. We're probably going to be 50% lower at some point. But then from there, we're likely to go to like 200K. So can you hold through that? If not, then you're going to think about it. Now, you can't time it. Nobody can time it perfectly, not even me, right? You'd see gold statues behind me and stuff. No, you probably wouldn't. I'm not that kind of guy. But, you know, can you hold for a 50% drop down? ADA, okay. Let's take a look at ADA, Cardano. Binance is just fine. What do we think about ADA? What a trash chart. Are you looking to short it? It's a decent chart to short because it's breaking support. I would not want to have $1 in this. Not even $1 of long exposure. Very, very ugly, rough-looking chart. Delete it from your watch list. Get rid of it. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Love you too, Jordan. Chalk, what's up, brother? You're a bit behind? No, I got your back. Aster, let's take a look at Aster. Let's go to crypto. A lot of controversy with CZ. People are hating on him. And, you know, I understand. This is trash. What are we talking about here? Why do we, like, yeah, do nothing here. Just do nothing until you can clear that level and recapture it. This is a very bad chart. I mean, not only because limited history, it's just a waterfall. It's like you guys know the toy Slinky? I don't know if like that. I'm an unk and all that, right? I'm old. But, you know, when I was a kid, the Slinky, right? Slinky fall down the stairs. This is kind of a Slinky, right? I don't know if I've ever used that metaphor before, but that's what it looks like to me. How do you personally trade while deep in a bear market? I take the best, a great question, Todd. I take the best available trade, right? So for me, this is an excellent trade, right? I take that long, okay? For example, throwback, I'll take that. I'll take a momentum reversal with a clear horizontal level. I'll take any trade, even CHZ, which has failed, okay? I'll take a trade like this where even though it's a garbage chart, right? This is trying to recapture. This is a major important recapture, 5 cents. I'll take a throwback trade that failed, but I'll take any kind of a trade based on a well-defined horizontal level, and I'll manage my risk. So I continue to look for trades, and I'll look for shorts. And I talk about it Bitcoin Live. I go through a big list of altcoins. I'm looking, and when these garbage charts like ADA bounce, like an ADA bounce into this range, I love to take a short in the low 40s, right? Because a downtrend likely to reject. So I'll take the next best trade where price is interacting with a clean horizontal level, and that's just how I play it. So that's a great question. If I want a good laugh, look at Circle. I'll do some more. I'll do Ondo too. Circle Internet Group. We'll go back here. Keep them coming, folks. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. See you later. Delete it. Delete it from the watch list. Ondo was requested. I think it's on Coinbase. Okay. I hope everybody's doing well, by the way. Thanks for hanging out. Ondo, garbage. Why do we want Ondo? Tim, TTM, what are we talking about? Like, why is this even on your radar? Please tell me you don't have even $1 in this. I mean, like, and if you do, why didn't you sell? Why haven't you sold? Like, you need to sell. It's garbage. You need to understand. Every major loss you take was once a small loss, and you just couldn't let go. And it's hard to do, but if there is serenity in defining your own risk, rather than letting the market define it for you. If you enter because XYZ, for example, this is a really great point, right? If you enter here on this trade because Bitcoin broke 94.5, when it fails to hold at like 94, you have to get out. You don't just hold it down to now 82K. That's because what the heck is the point of this trade idea? It has nothing to do with this. Trade each level to level, based on that risk. 43 says, appreciate you. May the Almighty bless you. You as well, brother. I feel blessed. I feel great. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky to be here. I mean, obviously surviving cancer. I mean, a lot of people go through cancer. I don't think I'm that special, but that's helped me to appreciate things in a way that if you haven't done it, you probably don't understand. FCX, that's Morgan or whatever, right? Freeport. I know this one, FCX. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Kind of a big gap up and it gave it back, and we're inching lower here. This is daily, but overall, so this is a big sideways range and break. So I want to drop to the weekly chart, and there you go. That's some nice momentum. Okay, maybe due for a cool off. Again, big shocker. I'm going to look for a clear horizontal level in an uptrend and look to play a throwback. So if you get a drop back to this range, could be interesting. Absolutely. Let's go back. I'm going to add this to a list of big board stuff I watch. Okay. Let's get it in there. FCX. Let's try it again. Sometimes it doesn't add it. And maybe I already had it. Okay. Bring it up there. I probably should expand some of the metals and stuff I'm looking at, but let's get it up there just for fun. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's what I'll just simply wait for because you can define your risk. You can say, for example, a simple throwback, right? So, let's say you enter here, based on this peak at 51, maybe your stop loss would be this wick right there. And you just define your risk based on that level, right? You don't just hold it all the way down. Let's see. Copper. Let's take a look at copper. I have it in the other list. Here's copper. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Chopping around, kind of along like doji, if you will. Let's go to the weekly chart. We're in the weekly chart. So we got 5 hours left. Big volume spike, a breakout, and it's cooling off as with the rest of these metals. But this is a nice uptrend. I'm a bargain buyer. I like to wait for a dip. So I would wait for this to drop back to 480 range, and I start to get interested in it. Okay. My intro is so cringe. OFMG. Oh, you mean the dancing, Sebastian, or me talking about my free books, the books I've published? What part of it? I'm curious, and it's okay. No one has to like me. Not everyone has to like me. If it's the dancing, no sweat. I think the people who like me love the dancing, and then 1%, 2%, 3% of people don't like it. That's cool, but hey, the reason I dance and it's Church of Eight Wheels, I'm trying to set the right tone, right? I'm pretty academic the way I approach it, and I try to teach academic TA. But learning is more fun. Learning is better when you're having fun. I try to make it fun. So that's, if it's cringe to you, no problem. I don't take offense. It just means you don't like it. There's nothing you can do that everyone's going to like. But I can only be me. And so I'm going to be me, brother. Does that make sense? TTM, couple more altcoins. SEI. I think that's a tough looking one, right? Yeah, get rid of it. What do you want? What are we talking about? Just delete this from the watch list. SEI, what are we talking about? Luis says, nice seeing you, man. Nice to see you, Luis. Thank you, brother. You have spotted the coins that you mentioned. Why? TTM, you have spot in this? Why would you, what are you talking about? You don't, why would you hold something I don't get it. Do you not have respect for your money? Do you know what I'm saying? What are we talking? You have spot in this? Just move on. What are you doing? The story doesn't matter. The fundamentals, just talk. The market hates this. Why would you hold spot? You guys say keep dancing. I agree with you, brother. Okay. Drew Lapp says, Cheds, I have a portfolio of mid 5 figures. Cool. How can I consistently do good trades? Do you want to know? All right. Go to my YouTube channel and watch everything. Okay, I've literally read the textbooks for you. I did CMT. Just watch you want to do good trades? Watch the entire trading encyclopedia. Watch my Masterclass webinar playlist. Listen to me talking to smarter people than me, better traders than me. Right? In the trading encyclopedia. Listen to the value I've created for you. That's how you become a better trader. Then use a trading journal. Buy my trading journal book or look at the free version. It will teach you how to set up a trade, how to manage your emotions. You have to teach yourself emotional mindfulness. There's many steps to it, but it's all here. Right? I'm pointing to my screen. It's all here in my YouTube channel. I have just like a massive library. If this was around when I was starting, it would have saved me 10 years. Right? Okay, let's see. So TTM, don't just hold spot on trash charts. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. And this is tough love for me. This is trash. What else did you ask about? ENA, absolutely terrible chart. Delete it. Don't just sell and move on. Play uptrend. What is this? You cannot hold spot on this. What are you talking about? Why? Please. I'd love to hear your feedback. Gilead, yeah. Biotech. Let's take a look at Gilead. This is fun. I'm having fun kind of dipping around. You're always going to get the honest truth from me. It doesn't mean I'm always right. Whoa. Wow. Beautiful breakout in Gilead. Let's go to a monthly. Huh. Congratulations. I'll tell you that much. There's your throwback target. Beautiful breakout. Nice base and continuation, right? You can call it a cup and handle. You don't have to call it. It's like the names don't matter. Do you have a range peak? Yeah, range peak. It broke out. That's your throwback target. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Good job. This is something you hold spot in, like an uptrend, okay? All right, let's see. Matej, Cheds, what's up, Matej? What do you think about the atmosphere in crypto space? Well, I had thought Bitcoin felt to me more like apathy than the panic and fear people had talked about. More apathy and fear. Apathy in here than anything. People are bored. But people are starting to get dejected a little bit because we're seeing metals run. And I was told Bitcoin's a hedge. I was told this and that. And it just hasn't happened. And look, silver's down 20%. Gold's down 7%. Where's the rotation into Bitcoin? These narratives do nothing for you. It's just talk, right? Just like George R.R. Martin said for Game of Thrones, words are wind. They're just nothing. You have the price. You have the price trend. Are you trading with the trend, or are you trading with some words that someone gave you? Okay. The atmosphere is not great, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse because we're headed for a much deeper bear market. And I don't know how many people are prepared for it. I've been pretty loud about that. Not at the top. I didn't nail the top, but I've been pretty loud since November. It's going to get a lot worse, and you need to prepare yourself, okay? All right, let's see. Never Stop Dancing. I agree. I remember Slinky, big fan of your content. Thank you, Nickel. Appreciate that, man. Let's take a look at Rose. Let's go to Rose. A rose by a rose. Okay, Rose is interesting. It's kind of looking like a short setup, but it had some volume and a accumulation. Yeah, interesting. It's very interesting. Now, this is a downtrend, and this is a bounce in a downtrend. And to me, it's still thematically a short setup because you have a bounce into lost support. Very clearly defined lost support here. Price rejected as well. So this level is well formed in classical charting for a few reasons. You have multiple hits. You have multiple hits with time. Shoot, why is my brain not working today? You have price distance from trough to peak. So these, and then time distance. Price distance and time distance. Time interval, sorry. So you have time interval in between, like what makes a level, multiple hits, but not just, here's your level, not just multiple hits at the same time. It's hit, bounce, hit, right? So you have price distance, peak to trough, and you have time interval in between the attempts. You've got a well-formed level to bounce into that. There is some accumulation. There is some room for hope, but I'm just going to be a skeptic because it's better to be a skeptic until it can clear 24, 25 cents. So I'd be careful. And we're seeing some volatility here as the price is pushing up into that level. So far, you have rising demand. So there's some evidence of accumulation. You're going to see that in the OBV will be rising. You've got that as well. But just to me, it's still potential for even a lower high. It's a bounce into lost support. I'm still viewing this as a short setup. Does that make sense? TTM says, thanks for feedback. Appreciate you. Render, sure. Render USD. That's a Coinbaser. I know that one. Yeah, it's a downtrend too. I don't like it. I wouldn't want to hold it. What's the other one? Plume, sure. I just don't like these charts, man. I don't like holding downtrends. I just don't know what the point is. Plume. Yeah, what do you hold this? Just sell it and delete. This is a sell and delete from the watch list and pretend it never happened. Doesn't matter if you're down 90%. Isn't it better to save what you have left and be down 99%? It's trash. It's trash charts. You got to have better play selection. You need to soak up my YouTube. You got to fix your mentality, folks, if you're playing stuff like that. Watch the encyclopedia. Learn classical charting. Japanese candlestick theory, like respect your money. Learn all the great psychology stuff I have for you, the trading psychology. My trading wisdom book sold 15,000 copies. I made it free. Soak it up. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. CCUSD for Todd, and we'll wrap it up. I'm getting hungry. It's been a good stream. CC. Okay, so this is an uptrend. Like, okay, quite reasonable. Not a ton of history. Nice little rising move here. You've got a rising demand trend. Let's try it again. You got a rising demand trend. You've got a range peak. It's flirting with a breakout. And then you kind of have inverted head and shoulders, continuation look, yada, yada, yada. This is a nice looking chart. This is bullish. So that's a good, see, this is a good looking chart. There you go. Okay. You say, oh, I hold spot in this. Okay, cool. I get it. Like, it's an uptrend. But if we're talking about some of these other ones, like, what are you talking about? What are we doing? How did you get into this position? Do you know what I mean? Did you buy up here and you didn't sell? You didn't sell in these underside retests? Beautiful short setups. Beautiful short setups. Bounces into lost support. Right? I'm thinking of buying Bitcoin to have spot as a long-term investment. Well, if it's a long-term investment, then just buy some every week in dollar cost average. I have a video on that in the Trading Encyclopedia on dollar cost averaging. Okay? Just, if you're going to invest it, just buy a little bit and don't care about the price. Right? When's a good entry when Bitcoin is 50? That depends on the price response at 76K. That really just depends on the price response. But if you're talking about long-term investment, just buy a little bit every week, man. And don't try to, because you're not going to nail the chart. If you're holding these trash alts, you're not going to nail a Bitcoin bottom. You gotta buff up your skills. You got to strengthen yourself here. Okay. This has been a fun stream. We've been going for 45 minutes. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm proud of that. Covered Bitcoin, Ethereum, covered metals. I told you about my YouTube channel. I told you about my Twitter page. I mentioned to you that I am a partner of BingX. They're a wonderful exchange. If you're looking for somewhere to trade, please consider checking them out. Twitter at Big Cheds. Published 4 books. I make them free, okay, because I'm proud of that. I just want to get my stuff out there. They've sold well, but I want to spread the love, spread the knowledge. It's all in my YouTube. Check out the encyclopedia. Check out everything else. Long form interview series. This is my buddy Chartman Dan, who I've had on twice, and he's so smart. I just bring on smart guests. And if you want to learn how to nail your trades, listen to these smart people. I'm not selling you hopium. I'm not giving you BS. I'm trying to teach you important skills. Okay? The things that have helped me survive. Okay? And by teaching you, I can get even better. So we both win. Okay? We're going to finish up with The Church of 8 Wheels. That's my song to dance for. The guy who said it's a cringe intro. Get ready for the cringe outro because I'm going to dance. So thank you, folks. If you didn't catch me, I'll do another stream probably next week. But there's no guarantee because I do these when I have time, when I'm feeling fun. I already covered gold and silver. Look in the beginning, Hayes. I do these when I have time, but Bitcoin Live is when I never skip, twice a week, and then occasionally an in-between report when the market changes, like last night. So this is where you get me guaranteed, and I'm super proud of it. 8 years. This is for fun. You caught me here. If you're watching on replay, keep on rocking. But we're going to rock out right now to The Church of 8 Wheels, and I'm going to wish you all a blessed weekend. Let's do this.